We just heard the sound of Huck Fate, and one of their members, who we chatted with, plays in another band and features a quite unusual instrument, a what? When you tell people you play the didgeridoo, what do they say?
They say, didgeridoo what? Not a lot of people around here know what a didgeridoo is. So when I say I craft didgeridoos or I play didgeridoos, first question is what the hell are you talking about?
A didgeridoo, or didge for short, is an Australian instrument made from hollowed out wood. Down under, the termites carve out the inside of eucalyptus trees and they're ready to be played. But here in the Midwest, Ben Hay has to put a little more work into making one.
As much as I wish I had a trained team of termites, I don't have that.
So he's going to need a few tools.
Here is some didgeridoo prospects. And basically they come into my little shanty, if you will, so I can look at them and really kind of visualize what they're gonna look like and what they're gonna sound like even. Yeah, and these are just logs. This is all this is. It's just a log. And what I'll do is I'll split it. I'll have two halves. I will eat out the middle and design that bore, and then I'll put them back together and finish it and then put epoxy resin on it, and it'll be waterproof. And believe me, they're really tough, because if they weren't, I would break them.
Well, now we've got our didge, but what does it sound like?
Just hearing the didgeridoo really is what grabbed me. It can be described as a buzzy, gargly monster, if you will. It's different than any other instrument. There is no reeds. It's a hollow log. And you play it by buzzing your lips just like a brass instrument.
Ben shows us a didge and explains how to play it.
I made this one. This was actually a tree, as you can see, and it had two branches. This was the stump, and the main tree came out this way. I cut that off and made this a bell. And the way it is played is you're buzzing your lips, just like a brass instrument. The key here is circular breathing. You can, out of one breath, maybe you can get 30 seconds out of it, but you have to be able to circular breathe to fully enjoy this instrument. And what that technique is you're using your cheeks as bagpipes, essentially. Everybody says, oh, you got to have really strong lungs to play didgeridoo, and that's not quite true. It's really just kind of like a technique, like riding a bike. Once you get it, you get it. And it has to do with storing air in your cheeks, pushing out with your cheeks, and sniffing at the same time. So you have air coming in your nose and air blowing out of your cheeks at the same time, which is, this is going to be really weird, but it's kind of like this. You can do that forever. And that's by doing this. So you can do that. I'm using my vocal cords, I'm using my lips, I'm using my throat, I'm using the shape of the inside of my mouth and nasal cavities to create these sounds. And it's a whole lot of fun.
It must be, because he's got more didgeridoos than he knows what to do with.
I've made probably 40, and some of which I've sold, some of which I've kept. I crafted the world's biggest didgeridoo. That's a big didgeridoo.
Didgeridoos are tuned by their shape. A short or a cone-shaped didge will play high, while long and thin goes low.
I got really stuck on this low sound because you get so many harmonics when you have a long didgeridoo. You get the low tones, you get all these harmonics that you can hit. And so I said, well, geez, why don't I just try to make the biggest one in the world?
And he did. Nearly 50 feet of didge guarded closely by this rooster. Big, short, and in between, Ben never fails to impress with the didge.
everybody kind of reacts differently, but it's all very similar. They're all very intrigued, and they've never really experienced anything like it. So to watch someone when you play it for the first time is really, really nice. It's kind of fun because they're just like, wow, you know? They've never really heard anything like that before.
With the band Huck Fade, who we heard earlier, and he plays the didge in a band called Tree Thump. If you have any interest in looking into a one-of-a-kind didgeridoo, you can contact him at the website on your screen.